happy hormone, okay? It essentially puts you to sleep, which is why having carbohydrates later in the evening is a good thing. It will help to bring your body down to rest. But again, I say most people, Katie could probably have, you know, a bowl full of porridge with maple syrup in the morning and be fine. If I had that, then I'd be asleep by 9 o'clock. You know, it's just different people respond to different things. But as we say, as a general rule, more protein and fat-based breakfast will work a lot more effectively for most people. So, stabilising blood sugar over essentially a fast, which you're doing overnight, you know, 8 hours without any food or anything going into your system. Again, eating something your body doesn't respond to will create havoc with your blood sugar. It will make it really unstable throughout the morning, okay? Fats and protein are a lot more stabilising than carbohydrates. Eat the wrong food and your body will respond incorrectly. You know, the concept of putting diesel in a petrol car, right? You know, it's the same sort of thing there. So, here we go. So we've got a little bit of maybe a progression model. So, if you're currently eating toast, croissants, I don't know what, shreddies, Lucky Charms, I don't know. Lucky Charms, nothing, perhaps. Nothing's another big one. Here is perhaps a progression model we can get you from where you currently are to where we'd like you to closer to be in terms of overall health and performance. So, first things you could change to is a full-fat Greek yogurt, perhaps, with some berries. You know, it's not ideal, but it's better than cereal, yes. A protein shake, again, we'll go through that shortly with the recovery, but we wouldn't recommend it long term, but as a way to get from where you are to where we want you to be. Is it good? Yes. Then you could perhaps go through to eggs and bacon and sausages and things like that. A traditional English breakfast, things that people would recognise as not that weird to eat first thing in the morning. That's the thing, when we tell people to eat meat, they think it's completely crazy, but yeah, bacon and sausages and things like that are absolutely fine. So it's trying to find that balance, really. Then we could perhaps go on to things like pork chops, gammon, and then steak, fish, lamb. Try not to see breakfast as another meal. Trying to just see it as a feeding, okay? It doesn't matter what you have within that, that sort of time, but just trying to get the right types of foods in. And as it says underneath, as we discussed earlier, fats may not be, well, probably aren't the issue, but always with meat, you buy the best quality that you can afford. If you need to buy cheaper cuts, then leaner would be best. But if you can afford to buy better quality, so yeah, or gluten-free sausages tend to be good. Gluten-free sausages tend to be the best sort of types, the most meat quantity that's possible.
Those sausages normally end up having wheat or something in them to make them.
Again, that's why you would opt for gluten-free.
Gluten-free. You can get gluten-free sausages from most supermarkets now. Some of them don't taste that great. If you go to the butchers, though, you can get gluten-free sausages that are quite tasty, and they'll be better meat quality as well.
I found some sausages in Tesco's that are 97% meat, but the only thing is they take about an hour to cook. You know, they're so, you know, and you do get used to them, but yeah. Really
that's good. Okay, so 97% meat, that's what we're looking for. So you can get sausages in the supermarket that are, you know, 50% meat, 50% horse, perhaps, I don't know. And then underneath, as I said, you can add things like nuts, thin-skinned fruit again, avocados, a good fat source in the morning to help with the stabilisation of your blood sugar. Okay, so going around the room quickly, I just want to give a few examples perhaps of what people have had for breakfast this morning. What did I have? Salmon, 2 duck eggs, avocado. What did you have then?
Sausages and eggs.
Sausages and eggs.
I had clothes and chicken.
I'm glad you didn't say porridge. Tony, what did you have?
Sausage, bacon and avocado.
Mum, what did you have?
Stir-fried veg.
She knew she had to, she was getting on.
Turkey, some nuts and a cucumber.
Okay, Charlotte?
Sausages and eggs.
Okay, so just with a few people that we knew would, you know, already in this sort of plan, you can just see some of the things that have, you know, some examples of perhaps what you could eat first thing in the morning. Okay. So before we move on, any questions? Yes, Wendy.
In the morning, if you haven't got time to have something like sausages, bacon, would it be okay if you had a shake and then like I have to take the children to school, so we're up quite early. And
Let's talk about
so
early.
if I
Tell me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It's all. I have to be up at 6:30, quarter to 7.
Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It's always preparation, always. If you can cook the night before, after the kids go to bed, cook breakfast there and eat it cold,
If I
eat it.
because sometimes the kids can be a right nightmare and I don't actually have time to.
Well, then yes.
Could I have something like a yogurt or a protein shake
If you get to that stage, then it's about damage limitation, right? You know, if you just for whatever reason you're up late and you just can't, you know, it happens, right? Your alarm doesn't go off or whatever. If you get stuck in that situation, then you know having a protein shake versus normally having meats, yes, that's a better situation.
Like,
but on a regular, you know, everyday occurrence, it's
No,
not ideal.
just in case, like,
Yeah, of course.
would it be better to have something like a protein shake or a yogurt rather than not have anything at all?
Yes, of course.
And
definitely.
then when I get back at 9 o'clock after dropping the children off, I'm absolutely starving.
No,
and
you'd do both. You'd have a protein shake on the way out the door, and then when you get back in, you'd have your meats there. Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot of, if you can set your alarm half an hour earlier before the kids are up, it means going to bed half an hour earlier. You know, it can be done. It's not that bad. You know, okay, the first week it might be horrendous. After that, yeah, pre-cook your meats before. You know, cook some sausages the night before, chuck them in the fridge. They're done. Wake up, 2 minutes, bang, 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 done.
But it's better to have something.
Definitely, always. Yeah, you need to break that fast.
And
For
then
sure.
wait till like you get home or something.
Never, definitely both. No, never use a microwave. No. Never.
You mentioned glycemic index earlier. Obviously, I try and combine it with some mixture of sugar.
Say again, sorry?
You mentioned glycemic index.
Yeah.
If you look at combinations of foods, or they say you can alter the glycemic index of foods in combination.
Example?
Peanut butter with banana.
Okay, so that's basically using the fats to slow down the uptake of the response of the carbohydrates, but it's a little bit of a further issue. The carbohydrates, depends what you're using the carbohydrates for. If you're using it to recover after a session, then you want the sugar and you don't want the fats as much, and you have that later. Again, without going into a personal situation, I guess that you could have more because of the amount that I know how much you train and stuff like that, so it might be a different situation with you, perhaps, which is why it's hard for us to give blanket statements to everyone. We don't know everyone's individual circumstances, so we can't tell you exactly how much you should have, right? Going back to Wendy's very, very quickly, because we do need to move on. It's a matter of priorities. If you care more about your breakfast and your health than anything, then you'll make the time to get up 5 or 10 minutes early. Me and Katie train every morning at 6 o'clock. So we get up at 5, 4:45. We'll be eating steak or fish or whatever at 5:15, 5:10, so we can train productively. Okay, it's just a matter of wanting to do it.
So just final point on breakfast. Is there a window of opportunity? Should we? I mean, I really don't feel like eating anything as soon as I open my eyes. But give me 25 minutes, half an hour.
No, that's fine.
Is that all right? There's not sort of a cut-off point.
The sooner the better. The sooner you can stabilise your blood sugar, the better. People that can't eat breakfast in the morning, the protein shake and the yogurt might be a better start. But we'll find that once you get a better system throughout the whole day, your body will start changing and will be wanting food first thing in the morning.
It's all right to wait half an hour or so.
Yeah. I've found with a lot of people from personal experiences, people set their alarm and then 10 minutes later they're out the door, not off to work. It's a case of, again, going to bed a little bit earlier, waking up a little bit earlier, having a bit more time in the mornings. You know, if you're up and about and you're doing stuff, 20 minutes later, yeah, of course you're ready to eat. You know, we changed it with Jane didn't we? Yeah, we helped you get up a little bit earlier, and then you've got a bit more time, a lot more relaxed in the morning.
Well, I have to make his breakfast.
Make Johnny's breakfast, yeah. And a lot more time in the mornings. You've got time and you feel ready to eat. Of course, anybody, as soon as you wake up, of course you're not ready to eat 5 minutes later. You've just woken up. But if you're up, you have a shower, you read a magazine or whatever, have a bit more time in the mornings, and you're definitely.
Let's go through that. We'll come back to it at the end. We've got 3 more slides, and then just so we can get through it and people can leave. Okay, the last subject then. We'll whiz through fairly quickly. Will be very good. Okay, so boot camp recovery. So obviously, as you can see up there, it's to maximise results and optimise recovery post-workout. Okay. So the first thing we'll cover is pre-workout. So obviously before you train. Okay. The first one we've got on the list is a caffeine-based product. Okay. Now, obviously, if you train maybe first thing in the morning and you feel a bit sluggish, coffee, for example, will help wake you up, help you feel a bit more energised.
It obviously helps with your neurotransmitters as well. It helps you feel a bit more fired up, things like that. There's a lot of studies that quite openly show that coffee will actually help you burn body fat as well by firing up your nervous system again. You've got water on there. Like we've covered before, your water goals. You know, again, if you're dehydrated in any form, your strength is going to be down. You're going to be dehydrated. You know, you're just not going to perform well. So water will go before, during, and after the whole way through. Okay. And then finally, there's a little thing here we found. Again, a few studies as well. Apple and Brazil nuts together. About 45 to 60 minutes before you train has been shown to really boost neurotransmitters in your brain, which basically helps you be stronger effectively. So you definitely try that. That's definitely worth a go. Durin is next. So what I've got on here is branch chain amino acids, which are in short known as BCAAs. Okay. Amino acids are a natural substance found in all protein sources. Okay, just in quite small amounts. Now, amino acids are basically the foundation blocks of, you know, that you'd find in a protein source. Okay, so you can take them in tablet or powder form during a workout, and it really helps with recovery. There's loads and loads of studies that show they're amazing for you, really. So I'll list off a whole thing. Like we said before, you don't need to read them all now, but we will get you have access to the slides so you can read through all of these. Google BCAAs and you'll find loads of stuff. So obviously it helps to support lean muscle growth, and obviously that will in turn lower body fat. You know, obviously burning body fat I've got there. Testosterone, it's going to help raise that and lower your cortisol levels. Stress hormone, stress leads to an increase in body fat. Train harder for longer, it's used as an energy source. It's going to help reduce muscle soreness. Neurotransmitters again, detox your liver, all sorts of stuff.
They're not steroids for you know, see a few perplexed faces. They're just, like Ben said, they're a natural occurring thing.
They're completely natural, and you'll find that you get them through a meat source anyway, just in very small amounts. So we tend to take them in tablet or powder forms to increase the amounts that we're taking. All right?
Yeah, ladies, don't be put off just because it says testosterone. You're not going to turn out like this. You're not going to pack on loads of sizes.
Post-workout, again, some of those roll over. You'd probably have BCAAs post-workout, and you'd probably have water post-workout as well. The next one I'll cover is protein shakes. So obviously it's a massive market, and for those of you who don't take some already, it can be very, very daunting. Right? There's tons of products and tons of different brands. As a general rule, again, what we found for most people works is a low carbohydrate, high protein version. Okay. Like we said before, most people can't tolerate their carbohydrates just yet, so you want to keep those as low as possible and the protein content as high as possible. The optimal dose seems to be around 20 to 25 grams of protein per shake. Okay, so you get a lot of ones that are boosting, you know, tons and tons of it, and it's a lot that goes to waste anyway. Again, like I've got here, you can add BCAAs to your protein powders. Any good brand will contain BCAAs in with it. That's where you can usually tell the difference between prices of brands. The cheap brands will have very small or none amino acid content, where expensive brands will have a lot. That's usually how you can tell whether it's good or not. The last one we've got here is glutamine and glycine. Now these are again amino acids, but they're not branch chain amino acids. They're different. And again, you know, it can be found in small quantities elsewhere. And again, what we do is we'd add these into our shakes. Basically, they're going to glutamine is a very good amino acid for immune system. So when you train, your immune system lowers. You're putting a lot of strain on your body. If you train often and you overtrain, you're more likely to get ill. Okay, so you can take a glutamine product to basically help boost your immune system back up. It really helps with healing digestive issues. It helps line your gut and intestinal lining. And it really, really helps for if you have cravings, really bad cravings. Glutamine is amazing for stopping that. So pour some glutamine into your shake, have one of those, and it'll fix cravings really, really quickly. Very good. And then you've got glycine, which basically training is quite a stressful thing to go through for your body, as you're probably all well aware. And glycine, what that does is it helps lower your cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone post-workout. Okay, so the lower your stress levels, the quicker you recover, the less cortisol you produce, the leaner your body's going to be. All right. Now we get both of these from myprotein.com. You can get them off there dead cheap and quite easily. Just log on there.
Are the BCEs from MyProtein good as well?
Yeah, again, the higher the content, the better. You can get them off there. We use Poliquin branded, but you can get those.
But lysine and glutamine, okay, from MyProtein.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's what
I'm
we
trying
get.
to sound like we're trying to push a load of supplements on you. You can get the BCAAs and protein from Ben for a cheaper price than the internet, or you can get them from the internet. It's up to you, but both those are available.
Yeah, we get them all here. We stock in good brands, but yeah, there's loads on the market. Okay, so to wrap up then quickly, any questions?
Let's go.
Sure.
It's about protein.
Yeah.
Most proteins are weight-based.
Yeah.
However, paleos are trying to move away from dairy products.
Yeah. So for me, for example, I'm dairy intolerant. Okay, so for me to have a whey shake doesn't make sense. Okay, you're putting a load of load on my digestive system, and I'm going to feel ill. So for me, I would go for either a lactose-free version, which is quite openly available, or a pea version, like a vegan type protein. And again, it's the same, it's basically the same product, but just comes from a different source. So for me, it's very good actually to cycle those. If you've taken whey for a long time, it's good to come off it and cycle your sources. There are a lot of different sources available. But yeah, definitely cycle.
Yeah, I guess what you've been talking about, a lot of what you've been talking about is putting stress on your system, trying to reduce the stress.
Yep.
But then if you put in, one of the things is to put something that has actually put stress on your system completely, which is the whey-based.
Yeah.
If I've gone down the route of taking all those other things out,
Exactly.
and I put something in.
Yeah, so that's where sometimes it's a case of we never know if you're completely lactose tolerant unless we get tested, which is why that's why we use the biosignature as obviously as an assessment tool to be able to modulate how your stress sites are coming on and everything else. But if you're finding that you've changed a lot of other things, but perhaps you're still not quite getting the results you want, that would be something that we would look at, making sure your protein sources from a post-workout perspective would be pea-based or, as Ben said, lactose-free. So it's never clear cut. Say I tend to cycle them. I don't think I'm massively intolerant to dairy, but just as a rotational basis, I tend to look at my protein sources. Do you have a...
Yeah, I just wondered when we was talking about breakfast and things, where you sit with sort of eggs. Are eggs okay to eat if you're trying to lose weight?
Eggs are fine. They don't really sit into the dairy perspective that much.
All right.
Because they're fats based, they don't produce a lactose response. So, for example, Ben, who is hilariously lactose intolerant, if you ever want to get back in, just slip some milk in the shake. You can eat eggs fine, right?
Yeah, eggs fine.
It's easy.
Even yogurt, I can get away with a little bit. Most of the lactose is removed from yogurt, but yeah, milk.
As long as it's full fat.
Yeah.
It's easy to become intolerant to eggs if you eat them a lot. So don't eat 3 or 4 eggs a day for a whole year. You're going to become intolerant eventually. It's just that's why it's important to cycle everything. Your foods and stuff. So they remove, like Ben said, they remove fat. They've taken pretty much everything that's good about the yogurt out, makes it taste like crap, and put a load of sugar and stuff back in so they can make you buy it. So like we said before, the fats isn't an issue as long as the types of fats is good.
I'll purposely look for full fat, something I buy over low fat variations.
Greek yogurt.
Next question. Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry. Microwaves. Yes, so microwaves they alter the food within it basically and destroy a lot of the nutrients within it. So again, there's no reason ever really to use a microwave. You can heat it elsewhere in other forms. So
it heats up your it heats up the food. It heats up the molecules to a much higher level than like an oven, for example. So it destroys a lot of the major nutrients at base level. So, like in Russia, for example, they've been banned since like I don't know, 1900s or something like that. Fine, right?
no good.
No good.
If you can't stomach cold fish, then maybe have it in the morning as an evening and stick to something you can handle. Lunch and breakfast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And also, if you're heating it up, normally you heat it up in a plastic container. So you're heating the plastic and releasing the toxins from that into your food. And then you're putting it in.
Plastic's obviously made from oil, so every time you heat a plastic up, you're making that, it goes into your food and you consume that. It messes you up, right?
Another thing on that, butters versus margarine. Margarine is one molecule away from plastic. Okay, so that's why it's important to stick to organic butter, have it on vegetables, cook with it to a low temperature. It's absolutely fine. Okay, but margarine.
It comes in that